is a frosty 12 degrees outside, so keep those chestnuts roasting in the open fire, or else you'll get some frostbite in some unexpected places.
What was that? It was like a scream.
Something else.
You go with him.
Run.
Those things, they really are what you say they are.
Hey man, we got big problems.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we need a way out of here. What the hell are we still doing here?
Couldn't agree more. Grab the door. Vampires.
Listen, they want you to run. They're hunting you. Yummy.
You don't know what the hell she is.
Do not
Lie to me!
In this world, we're the hunters.
Checking in.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Taylor Martin, the director of Silent Bite. I'm here this holiday season to tell you to check out Gruesome Herzog's podcast and interviews. He is out of control, out of this world. Take a listen.
Hi, this is Simon Phillips. Please check out Gruesome Herzog. He's awesome.
My very special guest is an up-and-coming talented director, Taylor Martin, for the phenomenal film Silent Bite in 2024. Taylor, how are you?
I'm doing great, Scott. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I actually stumbled across yours by accident. I really don't search out vampire movies. I kind of despise vampire movies, other than like Lost Boys and, you know, some of the stuff in the 80s and Fright Night. But usually when there's a vampire movie, I usually just, you know, skip by it and go to something else. And to be perfectly honest with you, Taylor, when I seen Simon Phillips was attached to this film is the reason why I watched it. And
I believe you.
That's no offense towards you. I just like Simon Phillips' work. And that's how I came across this. And then when I started watching it, you know, now that I watched it, it's not just because of Simon Phillips. It's now because seeing it and then watching it is a different thing for me. When I started watching this and I realized that we have bank robbers and we have vampires, then my whole attitude changed. So, I mean, having the Christmas character names as Grinch and Rudolph and Father Christmas and Prancer, it just added an extra touch to this film. The characters in this film really brought this movie to life. There's no other way you could have done this film to make it the way it turned out. So how you made this film is bravo to you, because it really added that extra zing. So I just want to say congratulations, and I want to say thank you for making this movie, and thank you for changing my mind to vampires other than the 80s versions of vampire movies.
Thank you so much. That really made my day. I think I pride myself in being very meticulous. I know we weren't really looking to reinvent any wheels here. You know, we pull inspiration from where we can as humans and individuals and things that have influenced us over the years as artists. And ultimately, we just set out to have a good time, work really hard, and provide something that can last for years.
You have a great cast. So
We do. We had a great cast.
Selah de Goudet as Mother. She was. I didn't realize that she was the evil Mrs. Claus, because she looks so much different.
Yeah.
And with your witches, with the mother and the daughter thing, I thought was very clever. Mother was like really out there, but evil. And I think her portrayal of Mother was really, I guess you could say it's like a balance of Christmas. You know, they're both the leaders of these gangs, as you would say. And the clash, how it happened was, I was hoping that would happen. You know what I mean? There's really no winners. Maybe one.
It's like bad guys against bad guys, and somehow you find the redeeming group you end up rooting for on some level, or if you just keep enjoying the monstrous side of things. I mean, I loved it too, and I really, are we allowed to talk spoilers? Are we talking spoilers right now?
Oh, you can. It doesn't matter. It's all right.
I really liked that it was sort of like a tit for tat thing. You know, one would go wrong for the other group, and then they would sort of retaliate. And it was just this cat and mouse movie for a while up until the, you know, the resolution of things. So I really liked that some of them interacted with some of the others, and then like you kind of wonder like what would have happened had they all come face to face at certain times and things. But I
Yeah.
just think it's cool that each one had their own little like side event with the other, and I thought that was pretty cool.
And I think what also made this more human is a conversation that Father Christmas had with Blake. Prancer. You know, he didn't belong. I mean,
No.
think about it. And that was unique as well. And of course, Grumpy Grinch didn't like Blake because Grinch is just a hateful, mean, not happy soul, which Nick Biskupek, as I mentioned to you, I'm going to mention again that I'll be interviewing him on Sunday. I didn't even hear about Nick Biskupek until I see Mousetrap. And then I saw this one here. And he's one of these guys that's in my age range, and so is Simon, because I'm 56. You can tell like their acting style is, they bring it from years back. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And it makes it more relatable for me because a lot of these horror movies today, there's a lot of young ones, you know, dumb kids, you know, college kids or whatever. But this movie had this.
Yeah, they had grown-ups.
Yeah, I just loved it because you rob a bank and, you know, and you go in a hideout at this motel and then you have, like I said, the vampires there. And Paul Whitney as Colin, amazing.
That guy's a riot. He understood the assignment for sure.
And Snowman, you know, the big bearded guy, you know, you get the pool scene. You have everything in here, you know, and then you talk about like witchcraft and shit like that. It had everything that you wanted. This movie kept you interested, you know. Rudolph was a great character as well. The whole cast was phenomenal. How did you ever come across? Now, it was written by Simon and you, or just strictly Simon?
It was written by Simon, and he brought me on. We met at a film festival in Buffalo, where respectively I won Filmmaker of the Year in my hometown of Buffalo, New York last year. His feature that he was starring in, as well as Nick and Michael, and Sienna, What Lurks Beneath, the Jamie Bailey's feature film.
Oh yes, I want to see that. Yeah,
it's really good. I love that movie. Our films were in it together, and respectively, we each won Best Film, and me having won Filmmaker of the Year for that festival. Quickly, there was a connection made, and ultimately I was asked to freelance, and I didn't know at the time that I would be able to bring my own crew. I thought it was just me going by myself, but most of the production crew, including our very wonderful director of photography, Tim Davis, and everybody else that came with us, I think there was 8 or 9 of us went up there for about a week. They're wonderful, and I was so grateful that I was able to bring my people to their people, and then somewhere in the middle we just started working together, you know, setting up daily meetings, gaining a lot of trust. So with any movie, it wouldn't be the final product without each and every person's input, say bright idea at the last second to throw something on, or you know, just the way other people interpret things. And it really just is a team effort. And the cast, I can't ever speak more positive things about them. They would come on, and it was as if these people were in like a 3-hour Hamlet play. You could throw them in and be like, okay, we're scene 62, you know, 3/4 of the bottom of the way there, start from this line and go. And they just wouldn't miss a beat. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, wow. Now, what film are you talking about that you won the best director for?
My film Didama is a short film, World War II multilingual thriller that we made here in Buffalo as a short film. I think it was my 6th or 7th film, and it won Best Short Film at Buffalo Dreams Film Festival. And it actually wasn't even finished at the time of entry, and so these guys saw an unfinished work of mine and still hired me to you know, come up to Canada and shoot my first feature as
That
just, you know, a newbie and release this movie. And it was so cool.
that's an honor, and
Truly.
you did a phenomenal job. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better movie to be your first full feature. How it's turned out, it was phenomenal. So
Thank you. I
now,
think everybody just worked so hard.
yeah. So what reaction have you seen so far from Silent Bite?
I knew my community would support me. They've been waiting and calling for a feature from me for a long time because, you know, I didn't have the means prior. And I'm very grateful to Simon and all the producers and everything for giving me that outlet to try and shine for the first time and lead a bigger project. And I hope many more come from that. But my community in particular has become, I just feel very respected. I feel very honored and cherished in Buffalo. And I think people are proud of me no matter what. And lately, something that I didn't expect, I guess, I'm not sure if it was just never really explained to me or anything, but the amount of, I guess, interviews and media and PR and, you know, who's been real clutch, you know, content creators such as yourself and such as YouTubers and, you know, Instagram influencers and TikTokers. You get a couple shares from these people and all of a sudden, you know, you're kind of bursting on the scene in a way that you weren't before.
It's kind of funny you said that. um, I have a tool that I use that will take the movie and take, like, the AI will take out certain parts and splice them together to show the people what the movie, you know, the scenes that they show. But what's cool about it is it doesn't give too much away.
Cool.
And I did 3 of yours last night.
Oh man, I can't wait to see.
And they're on my YouTube channel on the shorts. And my goodness, they blew up so fast. I have a TikTok channel for my podcast. It blows up there. It's, yeah. I mean, honest with you, this one, your film, and He Sees You When You're Sleeping. It's the Christmas horror movie that Charlie Steeds did. That one blew up with Caroline Williams in it. It's just, you can tell by people's taste. YouTube shorts are very hard for me because you would expect them to see them and respond, but they don't. But for some reason, the algorithm, whatever it's called, last night I got like 17,000 views. I'm almost at 1 million for my whole podcast on YouTube. I'm so stoked about that. But it's like a big wave came through. It's like no matter what I posted, it depends, but they just picked up so quickly. I mean, I posted a clip of Silent Bite up. In a matter of 10 minutes, had 500 some hits. So people
That's incredible.
Yeah, and in TikTok's even crazier. Instagram, it doesn't quite move for me too much. I'm not really a big fan of Instagram, to tell you the truth. I'm more like, you know, the reviews are on like the normal podcasts like Apple and Spotify, you know, and then I have it on YouTube. I have it on, you know, TikTok and platforms that really pick it up and move it. And I've noticed that I'll get comments like, "What's this movie about? Where can I see this movie?" So it is reaching people, and I'm very fortunate for that to help you guys get your film out there. But I try my best to help promote a film, but not to the point to where, you know, uploading a movie illegally or whatever. It's more about trying to promote the film at faster sequences so people can see it faster to go look for it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's great. I mean, sometimes you can't judge by one trailer alone, so I appreciate anybody and yourself cutting any media that continues to just, you know, create new content and things. And maybe after Christmas, people will be all Christmased out. But I think from now until then, it's just pushing it and seeing where it can go. I appreciate whether it's 17 views, 17,000, 17 million. It's new to me, so no matter what, I'm just very grateful. And everything feels like, wow. That's nice.
You know, I didn't really use TikTok for movie reviews. I just never thought about it until maybe 6, 7, 10 months ago. I decided to try it. And my goodness. Of course, TikTok likes to take the volume away from certain ones, so you know when it's not. You just got to take it back down again, because who's going to watch something they can't hear?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a tool that really helped me out, because I mean, I went from like 100 subscribers or followers to over 4,000 in a matter of time, and the views alone is crazy big. And I'm not bragging about myself. My main goal is to help get these movies out there so people can see them. You know, when they get on Tubi, that's a big help for you. When it does, I think it does.
Yeah, I'm hoping
But
for that
until then, you know, I mean, everything I pay for, the electricity and all that stuff. So I don't make nothing from it. But if I have a movie that I love, I am there to support and get it out there. And that's how I've been for the last
appreciate that
14
so
years.
much.
Yep, I've been doing this for 14 years. I started when independent films, just about 2009, when they just started getting pretty pop, just starting to get going. And I've been doing it for the last 14 years, and I've ended up being in the business of acting and producing and voiceover work and stuff for movies, trailers, and stuff. So I've done everything in 14 years of time that I wasn't expecting. That was not my goal. It just happened that way. And I enjoy watching movies that I really like. Now, obviously, if I don't care for a movie, I don't review it. I mean, I'll privately send a message to the filmmaker and say, hey, no. But on a lot of these filmmakers in the past were trying to be the Howard Sterns of the podcast business, where they tear movies apart just for fun. My theory is, if I watch a film and I don't care for it, doesn't mean the person who listens to it might like it. So I don't want to deter anybody away from a movie that I don't like. So I just stay away from that. I just post what I enjoy, and that's what I do. And, I'm not no big shot or nothing, but some people will take a podcaster's words on a movie, especially when you do it for so long. I don't want to risk somebody not watching the movie because I didn't care for it. So that's my goal, is not to do that. And it's been successful. You know what I mean? So I just can't wait to hit that 1 million mark. I'm only like 5,000 away for that 1 million all-time views in my podcast. That's exciting to me. That's a lot of views.
It's going to happen.
So
I mean, once the ball gets rolling past a certain point, it really feels like there's kind of no stopping unless you stop.
Right. And believe it or not, I was on hiatus for like 4 months because of my job, and it was still moving. So I'm just glad that, this interview is not about me, but I'm trying to put it to what I do for movies like yours and other people's movies. I've done a lot of interviews in the last couple of months, from movies that are on Hulu, or they're on Tubi, or just movies that, hey, do you want to review this movie? So I don't really do much. I don't ask for movies anymore. When you first get started 14 years ago, you usually have to ask for a movie to review, or they know you. But now there's so many access to movies now, Hulu, Tubi, or it's easier just to watch movies and review them than it has ever been before. And it makes it nice. So.
Yeah, I agree with what you said about, it's like kind of like if you don't have something nice to say, like there's constructive criticism and then there's
Bullshit.
Straight up hate. And I don't appreciate that, because it really just kind of invalidates like the accomplishment in and of itself to go do this thing that's so monumental and huge. And it's subjective anyway. So it's your hateful words could really have an impact on someone's next thing they're trying to do, or their career, or everything. And it's always nice to meet someone like-minded that's, just doesn't feel the need to go out of their way to just be nasty.
Well, Taylor, here's another thing too. You understand, I'm in a business. I've done movies. I've held props. I'm SAG eligible, believe it or not. I've been there and done that. For a movie to be made, started, and finished is a goal itself. It's not easy. And then, so I understand that even before I was in movies, I understand that it takes hard work, time, not so much money, because not every movie is made of a big budget, but that's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And for someone, it's one thing for someone to say, yeah, Silent Bite sucks. Okay. Well, that you're a moron because you're not explaining why it sucks. You know what I mean? If it's a intelligent, not you're really, you know what I mean? If you're giving an explanation of why, it's one thing, but for someone to say this is the worst movie I've ever seen, you're full of shit because there's so many movies out there. There's no way it's the worst movie you've ever seen unless you're only watching,
Right.
you know. So my whole point
Yeah.
is you can criticize someone's film all you want, but you got to be intelligent and smart about it.
No, agreed. Constructive
why.
criticism, even subjective, is perfectly fine. But like, there are no bigger critics than ourselves. Like, we will in
Oh,
any
my
movie
goodness.
that we do. Like, I mean, even all the way back to my first one to the one I'm about to do this weekend, I already know that there's going to be, like, oh, I wish I could have that one back in that moment. Like there. But we're always learning. We're always evolving. This is a craft. It's not very cut and dry, and it's just so important to support other people.
It is. I mean, to talk about Silent Bite, I mean, this movie had so much different angles, I thought, with he's hungry, peanuts, you're not a fucking monkey, it's just a lot of great lines in this movie that
I feel like it's very quotable.
yes, it really is. I mean,
I still quote it. I mean, probably never gonna not quote it.
it's just an amazing film for you. I mean, to get your first start on a full feature and to be so lucky and honored to work with Simon Phillips.
I'm
You
so
couldn't
lucky, like it's so
ask
cool. This guy's in Netflix and going to Comic Cons as a guest and stuff, and here I am like messing with him on set, tormenting him. It's just hysterical.
The old fuck's 1 year younger than me, so you know what I mean? He was a great guy. I mean, I loved interviewing him. Because like I told him, a lot of these actors that you watch their movies over the years, and you like, should I contact him? Will he respond to me? Will he do an interview? And I
he's
just
the
never
best.
bothered. What's
Yeah,
that?
no, he's the best. He would absolutely.
Yes, and I didn't, because and I just reached out to him, and he wrote back the same day. I'm like, oh, okay. Because I didn't think he'd write back. Because a lot of these actors that have become so popular, sometimes they just don't want to be bothered, and I was shocked, and I'm glad I had a chat with him. But I'm anxious to talk to Nick too, because I'm going to fuck with him so bad in the interview. It's going to be fun. But great cast, great story, great film. Do you have a film that you're working on coming up, or not, or you can't talk about it, or?
I do. I have multiple. Simon and I are actually on something together that will probably be released late next year. Not going to talk about that one too much, but it's cool to work together again in like a different capacity. And then I just shot the first half of my second feature that I'm trying to make called The Chauffeur. It's basically, what would happen if you got into the wrong Uber and got kidnapped. So, and meets like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's got vintage vibe. You mix the city and the farm life, and it's just really cool. And we had that one I was able to do in Buffalo, again with my own people, but I got that movie because of Silent Bite. And then another proof of concept after that. I'm shooting a film this weekend, another short, but I am trying to get more features. But they're a bit more of a lift, and they're no joke when it comes to being financed. So it's I would rather now progress to stepping into that. I tell Simon this all the time, and listeners, I guess, that I think my name is ambiguous as Taylor, and not many people realize that I'm a woman. And I do see that I'm in my mid 30s, and that young female horror director that's putting out the next iconic things. I feel like business wise that's wide open for me, and that's what I'd like to continue doing. So if I have to take a step back from doing shorts, pardon me, if I have to take a step back from shooting some shorts for a while, unless they're well paying, of course, and just do 1 to 2 features a year, or even 1 feature a year if it's big enough, then I have to stay business oriented, because I'm moving on from my old life. Like Silent Bite was the portal to my next life.
And it's kind of funny you said that, but honest to God, I did thought you were a guy when I saw your name. So no
Because
offense.
it can be a very male dominated field as far as the like it's not I feel like it's not very common, especially
Well,
maybe on the indie level, to have.
I disagree. I disagree. There's a lot of filmmakers in independent circuit I've done in the last 14 years. It's just that guys named are Taylor also. That had nothing
Yeah,
to do with
sure.
it.
Well, the funny thing is that like most of my, I would say most, in the one or two, most of my higher ups on my own team are very well educated and talented gentlemen. So it's just a really cool dynamic, and
Yeah.
I definitely like. It's not, I'm not like offended or anything when people think that I'm male. I just
Are you there?
who I really am. I'm just like this, tattooed like person like this female, and they're like, oh, that is not what I was anticipating.
Well, actually, I was more stoked that it was that you were the female director of this film,
Yeah.
honestly, because I've seen, I've interviewed actresses that are filmmakers. I mean, that are female. I've done short films over, I've done tons of them over the years. But then when I realized that Taylor is a female directing this film, it kind of gave me a different outlook on the film, if that makes any sense to you. Because sometimes a female director sees things differently than a male director would.
I agree.
And sometimes the female directors have better visions in a movie than what males do, because it's obviously it's one or the other, but you see it differently than what men do. And I think by watching Silent Bite and to know that you're now a female director of this film, I can see certain sides of this film that the ideas came from, or how it was shot, where it came from you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not judging you or nothing. I just seen so many films over the years that you can tell that it had a female aspect of the film being shot, because you see it differently. And I bravo to you. It was phenomenal.
That's great. Thank you. I feel like jumping on that, where I feel like the most helpful I was and where I feel like the most personal thing that happened to me was actually sort of that, love story that was smack dab right in the middle of everything. I took that one, was like that storyline was kind of my baby, and I kept messing with it, and really just tried to build it as the story went on. And of course, like, maybe that's not a realistic situation in that world, but like, in that story, you can either go over the top with it and just make it so unbelievable, or you can make it as authentic and sympathetic, and you root for these people and you don't know what's going to happen next. And it was cool too. I feel like I have masculine traits and feminine traits, and I got to work with, both sides of the coin in the coolest way. I played sports
Yeah.
growing up, so I felt jockey with the guys, and then like I have my sassy female side, so I felt like, the attitude of the women, and it was fun to be able to work with the women, because I know how women speak and think and talk. I didn't have to tell them from a man's perspective how to speak and think and talk. I feel like, they just did their thing, and I was just very proud of them.
That's exactly what I was going to say before you beat me to it. With the vampires, you could relate.
Mm-hmm.
You just said it. And look, I can talk for this film forever, and I'll promote it forever as long as I need to. When a movie hits me, when a movie impacts me, to where it's not just about Simon Phillips. I want you to understand that. I'm a fan of Simon, but I'm a fan of Taylor as well. The movie turned out very well. It's just a entertaining film that there really wasn't no slow spot. It was entertaining from start to. I hate slow moving movies. I really do. And I'm not afraid to mention in my reviews. If the ending's worthwhile, I will review it. If there's not much of an impact at the end, I do not. Because I will wait as long as I can till the punch comes. But if the punch is not to my liking, who am I to say that? But it's my effort and time reviewing it. Like I said before, I won't review it. But this movie had a nice pace.
Thank you.
It had the characters that make you laugh. You had a dumbass character that got in the pool, was infatuated by the vampires in the pool. You had everything in here. It wasn't just, macho. It had everything, and it was just a brilliantly made film. It really was.
Thank you so much. Thank you for appreciating me, and I definitely invite you and everybody to check out my other films as well. They're on our Nox Luna YouTube page.
Yeah.
which is our film company. I have plenty of others in the genre, and my forte is situational horror and very deeply impacting drama within that. So maybe it's my feminine side, but I definitely can absolutely crush some emotion. So
Well, right now. I am in the process of doing Christmas horror movies up until Christmas. But my next venture is I'm going to be doing a bunch of short films again, coming up soon. Have a little, a short film run, because there are short films that are put on YouTube that I didn't know anything about. A lot of them are like, either film students or whatever that just put them on YouTube, whatever. And I just haven't come across it. If I'm mistaken, I think I did subscribe to your YouTube channel. I think I did.
cool.
If not, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I have a playlist on there that's specifically my films, because I know Nox Luna's been around for a long time before I signed on as
Right.
producer. But since then, like our team, I act as well, so we have a cool rotation where we do this American Horror Story type thing where we have a group of actors and we'll just play different roles in different movies, and it's really fun. And sometimes I won't even be in one at all. Sometimes I'll lead. Sometimes it's just really a mixed bag. And I have just a very wide catalog of stuff. I could do this type of movie, and then I did a film that's very, very different. I did one that looked like it was told on a stage in a dark film studio that was all about a man remembering like two paths in his life where he realized that he was gay, but ultimately chose, to stay with his wife and hide from that version of himself and not be able to express himself. And that was our most, I feel, technically done film, and with a lot of heart. So it's just very different things that we have.
Yeah, I don't watch just horror movies either. I mean, I'll as far as short films, I'll do comedies. If it's something that I really enjoy, at one time my podcast was Gruesome Herzog Podcast Horror Reviews, but years back I changed it to Gruesome Herzog Podcast because I'm trying to spread my wings in other genres and not just get trapped into one. Because sometimes my goal is to bring other people in, action movies and stuff like that. So I've changed it a little bit in the last couple of years, and it seems to pay off. So, yeah, I will definitely check out some of your short films.
For sure.
I'll be doing some reviews on them down the road.
Oh, that's great.
But I'm over 2,000 plus reviews over the last 14 years, believe it or not, and a lot of interviews. I've interviewed big names. I mean, I've done everything. It's something that I enjoy. I like talking to filmmakers like yourself just to get an idea. You see the work, but you also want to help promote it and also get a feel of who Taylor is. That's my whole goal. Because that way I can relate a movie to somebody. Hey, by the way, have you seen Silent Bite? By the way, Taylor's awesome. You got to check it out. Because now I have that personal relationship with Taylor. You know what I mean? Makes it easier for me to say, hey, when you're done watching it, I can tell you some backstory, but just watch the movie first. Stuff like that. Because people get into that shit if you have stories to tell them after they watch the movie. And it makes them like really enjoy it more.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, you'd probably be happy to know that like people get excited about certain scenes in the movie and think, wow, that's clever or whatnot. But we were on set, most days, and like I would say 3 days prior, we were all like, oh man, that pool scene's coming up. That's going to be a riot. Like, it was like all we could talk about were those like certain scenes that like each of us took to, and like, there was some crazy fun stuff that happened, and I just remember being so cold that I joked that I'm still cold from that shoot.
I love it. In the outside scene, it just
so cold.
And then you had the lead driver, the getaway driver, and the end of the movie was crazy. That leaves it open for something else in the future.
He's so funny. If you like Nick and Dan, they're actually in another movie together by a director called Adrian Langley in Butcher's Book 2, Raghorn. You might want to check that one out.
Yeah.
Simon and Michael are in the first one.
Yes, I saw the first one. I reviewed the first one. That is my next viewing movie as well. Definitely.
There you go. Butcher's Book 2 is fantastic, and Adrian's great.
I select movies that I want to watch, obviously, because like Winnie the Pooh 2, they brought in other characters.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
Fucking cool. The owl was so creepy in that movie. Oh my God.
Yeah,
But
it's on my
yeah,
list. I gotta check it out. But I
you
think
do.
I feel like within the world now, I don't feel like it's out of the realm of possibilities for me to start crossing paths with a lot of these people because believe it or not, like a lot of people run in the same circles. So
Yeah.
it doesn't seem. I'm hoping to start connecting with some cool people. Cool. In
Well,
addition to this one.
if Silent Bite ever gets shown in England,
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm hoping for because
and
we
then
got.
you'll be able to meet them up there, because Nicola Wright
Um,
is the actress I interviewed towards the end of last year, and she played Christopher Robin's mom in Winnie the Pooh 2, and a lot of great films from England. And I'm really good friends with her, and I interviewed quite a few actresses and writers from England because I'm helping to promote their stuff in America as well. Because it's just everyone deserves a chance, and if it's a film that I can watch a film like I've seen a film called Cupid. It was like a killer Cupid, no big budget. It wasn't humongous budget, but it's watchable. And I like the aspect of people taking risks. You know what I mean? Just go for it. Everyone has a taste. And it's not
yeah,
a
for
slam
sure.
towards anybody. I just enjoy. I love shark movies. Trust me, I've seen a bunch of them. There's a couple new ones came out I want to see, but I'm anxious to see what you do next. That's all I got to say.
Me too. I can't wait for
So
everybody to see the chauffeur.
I know.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll put the links on the YouTube under the interview. I will post a link to the trailer. To the YouTube channel and all that happy stuff. But
Yeah, please send. I'm looking forward to hopefully, even if there's not a worldwide release at this time, that the word gets out to the point where, the demand and everything becomes greater and greater and we just have a
I
really nice Christmas.
I can safely say that this movie will get a receiving. I'm telling you, once it starts getting more out there, I'm doing my damnedest to promote the movie, and I get comments like, "Where can I see this movie?" So people are interested. So give it time, and yeah, I can see it going places. I really can.
That's amazing news. It's so nice to get an outside perspective, especially if somebody that's been doing this for a long time and been around the block and stuff. That's really reassuring.
Well, my saying is, I don't blow smoke up no one's ass. And I speak truthful. When I review a film, most people will write notes down. Taylor, it was a great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
So
Yeah, I think you're a great conversationalist. I appreciate it. It's nice to chat about it with people that aren't the people I made it with. Thank you. That
I'll
made my
keep
day.
Taylor Martin in my scope.
Oh, please do.
Anything that you have going on, feel free to write me and give me a heads up, because sometimes I might miss it because and people usually message me on my personal Facebook page. By the way, so I see it, because if not, I'm not going to see it. But
I will definitely do that because I'm looking to keep climbing.
so when you get a chance, go to my YouTube channel and you can see the clips
I
that
will.
I made, and I think you're going to enjoy them.
I can't wait. Thank you for doing that.
No problem. All right, Taylor, great job. Thank you very much for your time, and stay in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Right. We're not to be disturbed at all.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I am hungry.
Is there anything behind the bar he can eat?
There are peanuts.
And we're not paying peanuts, so stop acting like a fucking monkey. Settle down.
Fine. I'll just waste away here.
I actually have an extra protein bar.
I thought I told you to fucking shut up.